That's beautiful back here with Fireman Three Houses. Gerald, if you would, do the honors.
Part 2.
Thank you.
Azure Moon. Blue Sea Moon. The Impregnable Fortress.
Well, hey, don't go writing me off just yet. I'll give it a shot. I'm not just gonna give up and can't get in there.
Steps down as its leader. The Leicester Alliance disbands, and its lords swear fealty to the Holy Kingdom of Fargus.
Yikes, that was fast.
And the kingdom begins to dissipate as the people unite under Dimitri's rule.
Very interesting how
riding this momentum, the kingdom
they were able to do that fast.
To march south for a decisive battle against Imperial forces.
Yay! Let's do that thing. I mean, it's only been like 3 days since Claude even. I mean, I guess he would have announced. He said he was already at the round table conference, so he probably spoke with everyone about that, and they were all like prepared to disband from the Leicester Alliance pretty quickly. I mean, if Dimitri and the Blue Lions lost, then they would have been under Imperial control. So one way or the other, they were merged into another faction, I guess. Yeah, it's been like a day since that. Holy balls, they work fast. Alrighty, what's going on? We're marching on Fort Mercius, yes?
Have our decisive battle with the Empire this month.
The Eastern Lords are in the process of consolidating
Don't know about that
all of
one.
the troops within the entire kingdom. In addition, ever since Aryan Road's liberation, the Western Lords have been declaring their fealty, one after another.
Ah, sweet. Interesting. So that was optional, right? I wonder what would have happened if we hadn't... I guess he just wouldn't have said that.
Affairs within the kingdom have calmed down considerably, and we even managed to win over the Alliance.
I know! It's almost like everything went really right for us in this 1 month.
Although it was a rough go at first, I'm starting to feel like we could actually win this.
All of a sudden.
That's true. Thinking back on it now, we've really come a long way.
That's right. And I used to forget her armor going into battle.
We even have a lead as to where Rhea is located. It is as we predicted all along. If we are to rescue
Oh, and how thrilling it is.
We must defeat the Emperor.
Yep.
If we're going to march from the monastery to Inbar, then we'll have to cross the Great Bridge of Murden again, right?
Seems the easiest way to do that, yeah. Otherwise it's going over the mountains again.
Yes, I believe so. As we have gained the Alliance's support, we should not have any trouble this time.
Mm-hmm. Since we captured it and all last time.
After the bridge, we can cross Gronder Field and head south.
I mean, we did get chased out of Gronder Field last time, but it just should be fine. They've spread their forces a little thin, looking for us in other places, Aryan Road and Deirdre.
Towers on the other side.
According to Gerald, yeah. An impregnable fortress?
Fort Mercius, I know of it. They say it rivals even Aryan Road.
Well, we took down Aryan Road with no problem, so if they're comparing it to that, then
Count Burgley,
should be
the
fine.
Empire's Minister of Military Affairs, once had troops stationed there.
I see.
But according to our spies, a large-scale military force has entered the stronghold.
Oh.
Perhaps they are gathering soldiers from various regions to compensate for their losses.
Right. Should we try to avoid it?
If we try to avoid it, those troops will follow us and attack from the rear.
You're not wrong. I guess it would be
It's
bad
best for us to handle the situation
if
head-on.
this large-scale military force, thanks for that term, Gilbert, doesn't panic me at all.
Once we take Fort Mercius,
Were to attack
Inbar
us.
will be within reach. This is the Empire's last chance to stop us from arriving at our goal.
Right.
In other words, if we take this fort, then our blades will be at the Emperor's throat in no time.
Yeah, I mean, they sent out an elite strike force and took over Ferdiad, and we took it right back, so it's not like once we take Enbar, everything's screwed, but probably if we kill Edelgard, the others will stop. Or have a rational discussion with her, that's still on the table, as we all mentioned.
If this is the last fort between us and them, then the Emperor will likely do everything she can to strengthen its defenses.
Probably.
I just received a report on that very subject.
And you didn't tell us just
The
now?
one commanding the troops stationed at Fort Mercius is someone we have crossed blades with many times.
Oh,
It
no.
is the Death Knight who awaits us there.
Hey, why did you say that until the end? I was feeling all psyched up. Now I'm scared again. Oh, bye. Meeting adjourned. Fight the Death Knight. See you guys. Okay, cool. So no paralogue this month. I think I probably will do, however, another little mini-sode after we do the monastery talking, which is this episode. A mini-sode of doing all the battles and junk in between here, because there's a hell of a lot. Hey, it's my birthday this month. We could be going out and fighting some monsters on my birthday. It's Flane's birthday too. Anyhow, because we obviously with the way things have been going, we've been a little behind in some levels. I mean, we're still way above the suggested level, but that ain't good enough for me. I need to be way, way, way stronger if I want to be comfortable. Fixie-doo, shib-doo-doo. I can take care of this and that stuff later off camera. or during the mini-sode, whatever. So as for notes that I have for this episode, because I did look at the book and then Gerald started speaking and then I got worried about all the things that were happening. Just got 2 notes. Number 1, I think it was very story interesting and pertinent that it was only like chapter 18 or 19 that we got Dimitri back for supports, right? And only then could he have had supports with Gilbert, because we only got Gilbert after the time skip. So like I was saying earlier, they must have known that those supports would be happening way close to the end of the story. So for them still to have a tone that Dimitri is very much like, almost that he's backslid, I think is definitely intentional to show that it's like, not just because he's had all that support from everyone else and like there are a bunch of positive things have happened, doesn't mean problems are over, because that's not how mental health works. I think that's definitely like the thing that is being said with having that one come near the end of things, particularly his thing with Gilbert where everything was, I am full on arcane crystals. Okay, where everything was very intense there. What is there? Oh, I could use a few more smithing stones. My god, we have so much stuff. And the other note I had is that I only figured it out while I was editing last time, but I knew Arundel's voice from somewhere, and I couldn't figure out why. Whenever I heard Arundel speak, I felt the irresistible urge to hug Emil and calm him down.
Do I really scare that easily?
I'd say so.
That man is played by the same actor who plays Tenebrae in Tales of Symphonia 2, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Christopher Corey Smith, I believe it is. Did a great job as both characters anyway. It clicked all of a sudden when I was editing the last one. I was like, where do I know that voice? Hey, Ash?
I wonder where Claude will go. From the sound of it, he's leaving Fodlan altogether.
I guess he didn't explicitly tell to us that he was going to Elmira,
He was
right?
strangely gallant about the whole thing. Even left his relic behind. Elusive and mysterious to the end, isn't he?
A little bit, yeah. I think the relic was more for our benefit. I don't think he left it behind because he's like planning on dying or anything, but I guess, who knows?
Just as we suspected,
We won't have Hilda with him, I guess.
Lady Rhea was taken to the Imperial capital. We must get to the capital as quickly as possible. So many people are worried sick about her.
Yeah, for the people, I
do
guess.
wonder when Claude managed
same
to
for
learn Lady Rhea's whereabouts. He's pretty shrewd. I can't help but admire him.
I know, right? What such a good dude. Doo 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 doo. Boo doo doo. Hi everyone. Ah man, this place is so full of life and everything again.
I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore.
Short people? Monks? I don't really know. What are you talking
There are
about?
still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros.
Monks, got it.
I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
Well, they certainly used to have a lot of church connections. No one can deny that. Look at all the people we can talk to that aren't in our party. So exciting. I've never met you before.
I traveled to Kingdom territory because I was nearby. I did some good business. Apparently, supplies are needed to reconstruct the Kingdom capital and the surrounding towns.
That makes sense.
I wonder where I should go next.
Well, the Alliance has just been through it. Probably should go there. Surely there are some people in need of something there. I mean, it's a war, so there are people in need of something everywhere, but there's a thought.
The Alliance has really been disbanded?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought such a thing could happen.
Neither did I, and then Claude was just like, I didn't even consider it, and then Claude was just like, and by the way. And he said it wasn't even the most important piece of information. He was like, and the most, now for the grand finale, Rhea's in the capital. We could have guessed that. I guess it was nice to have the confirmation.
As long as it doesn't negatively impact our lives, I don't care much whether we're the Kingdom or the Alliance.
I guess it is more of a thing that nobility worries about more than the working class and all.
With the Empire destroyed, the borders within Fodlan will likely become a thing of the past.
The Empire destroyed? Well, no one's suggesting anything of that scale.
With that, the rules of trade will change. Personally, I'm excited to see what these changes will bring.
I love the attitude. Destroy the...
Have you heard of the Crescent Moon War? That's when the Alliance won their independence from the Kingdom.
I'm sure I read about it at some point.
Some 300 years ago, the ruling Duke of Leicester died without an heir, and the lords with blood ties to House Blythe took that chance to propose ruling the Leicester territory as a republic.
And didn't that fall apart like real quick?
The head of House Regan led the Leicester lords and fought fiercely with Farkas. They won independence from the Kingdom. And now, here we are.
Wow. It's amazing how things that happened before now can impact the time of now. Thanks for the history lesson. I thought I was the teacher, but I was the one who learned something. Annie, are you hungover? What's going on? She's become a roadblock. I know, Gilbert gives us all a migraine sometimes.
Oh, Professor! Good timing. You have to talk some sense into my father.
I have to do what?
Recently, he's been doing nothing but work himself to the bone. Even when he's taking breaks from training and errands, he's apparently listening to reports.
day in and day out.
And he's at the highest level of us all. This cannot stand. He's stealing work experience from us.
He's getting on in years, you know? I just want him to take care of himself.
That too, that's also quite noble and sweet. I'll do what I can to see that through. If you could teach me how to swing an axe, that would be dope. Thanks. I can't wait to see if we've actually grown anything this time. It would be dope if the root vegetables bore any fruit, or vegetables, I guess. Hi.
We're finally going to attack the Empire? I'm actually getting a little nervous. Please defeat the Emperor and save Lady Rhea. I'll be waiting here with all of the necessary preparations for a huge celebration.
Alright, I don't know that you kids should be so gung-ho about all the killing we're doing. You shouldn't really be apprised about this at all as far as I'm concerned. You still have years of innocence that you should be able to retain before knowing what we had to do so that we didn't all die. I would love to do some gardening. Thank you for asking, game. Harvest! Ambrosia! That's gotta be it, hey? Only 4 root vegetable seeds. But I need 5. You listen to me, random merchant. You are going to give me root vegetable seeds, and so help me God. You gave them. Thanks. Chickpeas. Albanian berries. Man, there's a lot of stuff spawned around the monastery that I was not expecting. Smithing stone, yoink, angelica tea. Wow, I picked that up from way far away. Okay, thanks. And we'll just sit there, and let's get that perma buff given. Oh, right, we got a whole bunch of them. So this is defense by 1, and then the shell we got from Hilda, I assume. It was either Hilda or Judith, but I'm guessing Hilda, because why would Hilda carry around a goddess icon? A giant shell, she could use that for some kind of accessory or whatever. Anyways, honk, and honk. Yum. And who are we giving luck? Oh, let me decide that now, actually. Luck 21, luck 21, luck 22, luck 23. It's not actually exceptional for any of us. Ingra's got some fair luck. That probably is why her crit is so sturdy. Let's give it to Dedu, shall we? Being a frontline person, it is the best that he not take any crits, and also this gives him a bit more crit if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Oh, hey, what's this? Ooh, he said with no intention of planting any such things. Probably don't need actually to do that much more fishing now since we're not getting professor level from it and we are not really desperate for money. But there are some useful recipes we get from it and stuff. Hey, gatekeeper, hello, are there things to report?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report.
That's good.
Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next?
So they tell me?
That doesn't sound like the brightest idea.
Hey, I know, I mean, I was suggested avoiding it, but they were all like, no, they'll follow us from behind. Smart decisions.
I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies.
Well, it's a good thing we're a tiny army made of 10 people. They'll never see that coming.
Not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
Well, then I shall do my best to make sure that not every single person dies, that you don't have to say goodbye to all of them. You hope Lady Rhea isn't hurt? I mean... yeah, I hope so too. Laying a siege to a keep is a lot like... Sylvain, don't say what I think you're about to say.
You know, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date.
Except for all areas that are relevant. Yes, it's just like that.
First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move.
It's not the best analogy.
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a seasoned veteran at this kind of thing. Girls, I mean. I've never actually, you know, captured any keeps. Anyway, I figure you go after the main gate. You take that out, and I'm sure we can win.
You're still talking about the fortress, right?
Of course, you're making the tactical calls. I'm happier to follow than to lead.
If you say so. Sounds like you have some leaderly ideas. You keep working on that analogy. I'll go do anything that is not involved with you. Does that sound fair? That sounds fair. And not more than sounding fair, it definitely is fair. And I'm deciding that. Because if it isn't fair, I don't care.
Here's an idea.
Garrick Mock is flourishing. I know! Who's hanging around at the Knights Hall? Knights. That's... That checks out, yep.
The Archbishop has been taken to the Empire, just as we thought. But why
So Claude
hasn't
says.
Edelgard killed her yet? If she intended to use her as a hostage, she'd have publicly announced that she was unharmed. We don't know what the Emperor's intentions are. All we can do is fight on and pray the Archbishop is okay.
Maybe Edelgard has a crush on her now. I don't know. She seems to get those pretty fast.
Doesn't matter how sturdy the keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything.
So I'm fingers crossed you're about to say then that their commander is super incompetent.
That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
Alright, got it. They're gonna have the smartest person there. Right, I understand. So it's a safe bet that Petra's there.
Right.
Her literal blood right is to be a commander and stuff. So, well, in the great sense of being a monarch.
Death Knight. Going to fight the Death Knight.
It's okay, it's okay. I might have Manuela do most of it. Actually, I might have you pull some crazy crit stuff, so don't worry about it. You seem concerned.
To be perfectly honest, I am.
Glad we cleared that up. I no longer have any doubts about whether or not you are or are not concerned for the fight with the Death Knight. And very reasonable to be. He uses a spooky voice modulator. I mean, we don't have those.
We defeated Lord Arundel. The Emperor must have been surprised.
You think? I don't think she was terribly fond of him. Relieved is the word I'd have used.
If we can keep up that fervor, perhaps we'll capture Fort Mercius and move on to the Imperial capital. We must not be overconfident, though.
Let's proceed with caution.
Yes, I concur.
Let's not be overconfident. We can definitely win. As though that was the choice.
Humans and beasts are ultimately the same. When they're cornered, they'll lash out however they can. They fight for their lives.
The only difference is usually the humans have a backup plan. Or they can, anyway.
Who knows how
and when
the
it comes to
Emperor will
smart
lash
humans
out.
like Edelgard.
We have to be careful.
Right. I was just messing with Claude for taking all those unnecessary risks, and here I am just saying, oh yeah, let's go take Fort Mercius. Almost called it Fort Mercer. That's a whole different game. Once, as a boy, I struck my father. Now that I think back on it, he must have been upset at the time. I wish that I could go back and apologize to him. Don't worry about it, it's all in the past. That's just how life is sometimes. It's never too late. Ah! Really? I would have thought Felix would have... No, I guess he doesn't want to apologize to his father now. I probably should have seen that coming. By the way, about this whole renown thing. Ooh, 2,400. What a shame. I guess then... I guess let's save up for the next experience bump we can get. Probably is the thing. Hello, you believe? I believe too. I believe that you're looking gosh darn pretty today.
Your territory, huh? There's
Yep.
not much we can do right now, except pray for deliverance.
Couldn't hurt to pick up a sword and train with it, I guess.
I truly believe that we have it in us to succeed.
But that's just as good, isn't it? Sure. Do. Is there loot for me here? If there is, then I want it. But there is not. Oh, well, how's it hanging? What are you looking at? God, don't stare directly in the sun like that.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past.
Yeah, you come from there and all, right?
Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it.
I guess you could around here. I mean, Garrick Muck's a pretty big place, but it's not exactly the same level of... What's the word for, like, an ecological cycle? Like an ecosystem, whatever.
That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Yeah, I was looking for something more insightful to say, but just, yeah, That's a good point, because you were a different person then.
Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the Imperial capital, Enbar.
Ah!
We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort.
Well, we could, but according to Dimitri, we would all die.
The city should
which
be
is
almost entirely at our mercy.
Less than helpful.
Now that we know Rhea is there, we must move with the utmost urgency.
Well, last time we were sieging a city that was, like a capital city, in fact. No, I guess Deirdre was another capital. The first time we were seizing a capital, once we actually got to the city that was at our mercy, as you put it, they just started they were like, just go kill all the civilians and who cares? And I think that's not the kind of thing I want to have happen again, but you're right, we should move quickly whatever we're doing.
The Death Knight. I shudder to think of him. Professor, you remember my connection to him, do you not?
Of course.
I am still working through the trauma from back then. All these years later, if we meet him...
It was only 5. I mean, that's a reasonable thing to still be traumatized over. You're gonna have your revenge! Whoa! Well, the Dark Knight versus the Death Knight. What a square off that would be. I don't know that I can have you guys all fight him and still survive. Maybe with Gambits I could have you guys get your dialogue. I wouldn't be surprised if Manuela and Flayn have dialogue. I'm pretty sure Mercedes does. Hey, Gilbert?
Even in the kingdom, only a few people knew about His Highness and Edelgard's relationship. Me? I always knew those two to be like brother and sister.
To be like, or you actually knew they were?
To think that we would come to see this world, where they are at war with one another. I live it, and can still barely imagine such a truth.
Right. I know everything was so chill at the monastery, and there were no foreboding feelings whatsoever.
I have a request.
More resources? Well, we probably got cabbage. Have we got the other stuff? Cabbage and Verona. Maybe we don't have cabbage. Oh, cabbage. 11! We have 11. Okay, we definitely have that. And we just need one more Verona. I don't even know. We might be able to buy some of that. No, I think you can only buy the meats. Does have vegetables for vegetables?
Vegetables.
Hello! Hello. Ah, vegetables. Wrong vegetables.
Tell your friends.
I will tell my friends. You know what I'm thinking? I don't know. Spoiler alert or whatever. There are 22 chapters in this run. I don't remember, however. I think the last one, it's like a double feature where you fight once in the streets of Enbar and then in the Imperial Palace, but I don't remember if that's chapter 21 and then chapter 22, or if chapter 22 is just both of the fights. I should just look it up, because what I don't want to do is get to chapter 21, not use all that food I've been storing for like the really good meals you can make, and then find out that I can't go back to the monastery after I leave. I should definitely look it up. I'll do that before next episode, I guess. So I know when to cook all of our food at once, all that moose and the goddess messenger and all. And with that, is that everyone spoken to? No, we haven't been to the Cardinal's room to speak to Dimitri and Dudu. Am I prepared? Why, it's only the 5th day of this month. Don't I have the other 26?
From this point onward, we're in all-out war with the Empire. Are you prepared, Professor?
As I'll ever be. I am.
I'm glad to hear it. That means we can approach the coming battles with peace of mind. First, we capture Fort Mercius. The fighting will undoubtedly be brutal, but we must prevail.
Right. What is on my controller? Oh my god, why is it green? What the hell is that? Ew. Is that peanut butter?
As far as this army and I are concerned, you're our last ray of hope. We are relying on you.
No, yikes, don't be so apocalyptic. Surely you guys have picked up a few of my leaderly tricks from the past few years we spent together. Annette's got a talent for authority. I'm sure she would have some of my tricks picked up. She doesn't have my divine pulses though, you're right. Your what, Professor? Nothing, it's a hand cream.
Claude has stepped down from leadership, and Lester is now a vassal state of Fargus.
So it is.
The lords of the Western Kingdom are beginning to declare fealty to us in greater numbers also.
Yes! Wait, who told me that? Was it Gerald who told me that? I think so.
The Empire
no,
is
it was
our
Gilbert.
Only remaining enemy.
Yeah, but I'd not like to think of them as an enemy, you know? They're just a friend we haven't made yet. Does that you want some fruit? No, wait. And what would it to do like? Concentration barriers popular among men. Fruit? I don't know.
Honored to receive your invitation.
Well, that's a little strong. I'm just asking you here to eat some lava cake and tea with me.
Just the right amount of heat.
Was it? I got lucky.
Yes.
Let's talk now. Someone you look up to. Who could it be? Yes. Books you've read recently. The Meaning of Nobility, Equipment Upkeep. I don't know that he's especially bookish. But equipment upkeep. The meaning of nobility. Equipment upkeep. Okay, he doesn't mind talking about that.
Yes.
That was a hard one. The ideal relationship, your ambitions working together. Good, okay. That's one of them that works with most people.
You should have a look later.
I will. I was there picking ambrosia, whatever that is. That's a flower, right? Praise. Oh, praise for them being in full bloom. Sip tea. Congrats that you got them in full bloom.
It was delicious. I hope you will invite me again.
I will. Whoa! That's full bloom, all right. The man told no lies. So that is all the talking points of this monastery day ended. So the next video, I'm going to do another of the mini-sodes where I tear through all the free days of the month in one episode just showing the highlights. And so I apologize that this episode's going to be a bit short, and then that one will also probably be a bit short. But we need the XP for sure, so I can't be slacking on the fights. And there ain't a dramatically large amount of other things that we can do this month, considering we've taken down all the paralogs thus far. And we're at the end of all our class progressions and everything. It's basically just maintaining our stats and levels and stuff now. In fact, speaking of classes, I still need to hit Mastery for Wyvern Lord, and Manuela needs to hit it for Bow Knight, I believe. And Seteth does Seteth even get experience for it when he's not the main person being sortied? Oh, he does. Okay, Gilbert also needs the Mortal Savant, right? And she needs her Bow Knight mastery, but everyone else, I believe, has their class masteries. So that in terms of class progression, we're about as far as we're going to be, unless I want to pull some thing last minute and get someone some kind of class mastery skill, but I don't think I do. There probably are a lot of skills that you can get from other class masteries that are really helpful. Like in the same way that I got lethality from Assassin, and then just that's the one that had I the time in the campaign, I would definitely spec everyone into Assassin at some point just so they could get lethality. Just so I could have it as an option, because it's a great thing to have around. But that's for when we do the Assassin run, which will be probably years in the future. Anyway, that's that for this episode. And if brain is remember good, which it usually doesn't. The next video going up on the channel is going to be a video I recorded several months ago, where I went and got basically all the DLC gear in Breath of the Wild all at once, because even though I've played the main story through like 4 or 5 times, I still have never done the DLC. So I was like, okay, today's the day I'm starting the DLC. I went and got basically all the armor and then a few of the other like gear that's like strewn about, but I haven't touched any of the proper like quest stuff for Trial of the Sword or Ballad of Champions. So we still have to do that stuff. There are like new boss fights and new shrines and stuff, but that'll be a ways off because I'm not doing it really in a proper playthrough method. It's just like I'm jumping in so you can see my first reactions to certain things, like the DLC armor, for instance. That's the next video going up on the channel. It's kind of long. It's like 3 hours, I think, because it was like 9 hours of footage. Because it turns out getting all the DLC gear in one video is not a good idea. So with that, thank you so very much for coming around to this episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses, where we are rocking around the home stretch. After it's gonna be the mini-sode, and then Fort Mercius, the episode after, and then we'll be in the last 2 chapters after that. That's whack. The game really does pick up at this point though, because you're at the point where you're like going through the motions with the training, and there's not as many paralogs and special quests to do and stuff. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around, and I'm gonna be out of here. Peace. Wait, stop. Okay. Oh, I didn't think it would stay there.
Oh no.
That works though. No.
So, this was the first. They had to